Okay, we're going to go into starting the bike now. This is a fairly simple procedure. The bike has been timed correctly. We've done both the static timing and the dynamic timing on it, so it should kick over with 1 or 2 kicks. Now that's going to depend on how cold it is, and it's going to take you a little while to get used to the amount of gas that you're going to put into it, how hard you have to kick it, you know, and all of those different things. One of the most important things to remember is that it's good to get the oil moving before you actually start the bike, before you kick the bike over. So what I generally do is, before I hit the key, before I do anything, I just take the lever and kick it over a few times. Okay? And what that does is it picks up the oil and it starts to distribute the oil so that you're getting some oil up into the motor, up into the heads, into the pistons, and you're getting some lubrication taking place. Okay? When you get ready to start it, very simple. First thing you want to do is to check your oil, which we already did. You want to make sure that there's oil in the bike. You want to make sure that there's gas in the bike. Okay? Very important to do those two things. So we've checked the oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the gas on. I'm putting it on reserve because there's only a little bit of oil, a little bit of gas in the bike at this point. And I'm going to tickle the carburetors. Okay? I'm just going to give it a few little plunges. Okay? So I put a little gas in the carburetor. Now, there's 2 systems in this bike. There's a charging system and a magneto system. They work independently. You can literally start this bike without having a battery in the bike. But you've got to get a fairly good kick on it in order to get enough revolutions to get a spark to start it. Okay? So we've turned on the gas, we've tickled the carbs. We're going to turn on the electric system. So we've got a charge going through the bike, and then I always have to stand on this thing here because I've got short legs. And then you're going to get a good kick on it. You want to get this all the way up to the top, and then give it a good kick. And then you're going to have to feather the throttle a little bit. And then it should sit there and idle like that all day long. Once it's warmed up, this is a cold one. You're going to have to let it warm up a little bit before you take off. It's cold right now. It's just starting to warm up. So it's going to take a little while. There's a lot of metal here. The pistons are very large. The cylinders are cast iron. The heads are aluminum. It takes a little while for this thing to warm up, you know. So be patient. And while you're waiting for it to warm up, you can do like a pre-walk around check. You can make sure that you've got good pressure in your tires. Okay, you've got your C-block tires. You've got tubes in there. I generally run between 38 and 40 pounds of pressure in my tires. You always want to make sure that you've got good pressure in your tires. This is a good chance to check your lights. You know, make sure that your headlight works. Make sure your high beam, low beam works. You want to make sure that the blinkers work. Make sure you can adjust your mirror. Check out your brake light. Okay. And once everything seems to be working okay, come on. I'm rushing it a little bit. It's not warmed up, and I'm trying to give it throttle. These old bikes don't work very well until they're warm. Once they're warm, everything's fine. When you want to stop it, make sure that you put your key back to neutral. Turn your gas off. Let it run for a little while. These carburetors get flooded very easily. Sometimes it won't take gas because there's too much gas in the carburetor. It needs to clean that out before it's going to run correctly. And then lift your key and you can turn it off. Okay? Real simple. One kick, two kicks. It's going to take a while to get used to how it starts. Some of these bikes start real well on a lot of gas. Some want a little bit of gas. Some want you to give it a little throttle when you start it. If you flood the bike, then sometimes the best thing to do is to take the throttle, open it up all the way, hold it open, and kick it a few times. And it will eventually start. It'll clear itself out. But you're going to have to be patient, and you're going to have to allow it to warm up, and then you should have no trouble. I took this bike down the road the other day, and it ran flawlessly. So it takes throttle real well. There's no problem. Once it gets warmed up, it's just fine. So, as far as your controls go, you've got your clutch on your left-hand side, and you've got your front brake on your right-hand side. Your rear brake is over here, okay? It's important to remember that everything is manual. You know, there's no hydraulics, there's no nothing. Basically, you're dealing with standard drum brakes on this. So when you apply your brake, what you're doing is you're pushing those drums apart, you're pushing those shoes up against the drum, and you're making a friction situation that's going to slow the bike down. Get used to downshifting. It makes a big difference to slow the bike down. Once they're running, they run great. They've got a 19-pound flywheel in here, and once that gets going and you get a good momentum going on this bike, it just floats down the road, no problem. Okay, I can't think of much else right now. We'll end this and we'll move on to the next one.